Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this episode of Spiritual 3M, your morning medicine and meditation. Today we're on the eve of Juneteenth, but the celebrations. Um, how do we get here? How do we get here? What is Juneteenth all about? Well, in 1863, during the Civil War, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. And this momentous decree, as Dr. Martin Luther King would say, declared more than 3 million slaves living in the Confederate States to be free. Well, more than 2 years would pass, and before this news would reach the African Americans living in the state of Texas, it was not until those Union soldiers arrived at Galveston, Texas on June 19th, 1865, that the state's residents finally learned that slavery had been abolished. Former slaves immediately began to celebrate. Imagine this now. They'd been free for over 2 years, but didn't know it. So this called for celebration, prayer, feasting, song, and dance. Well, the following year, the first official Juneteenth celebrations took place in Texas. The original observances included prayer. Always got to have prayer. That's why we are so steeped in prayer. Included prayer meetings and singing spirituals. Celebrants wore new clothes as a way of representing their newfound freedom. Within a few years, African Americans in other states were celebrating that day as well, making it an annual tradition. So Juneteenth, back in 1979, I think it was a state legislature by the name of Al Edwards in Texas sponsored legislation to make Juneteenth a state holiday, a paid state holiday, and that legislation passed in 1980. Juneteenth became an official state holiday in the state of Texas. And other states would subsequently follow suit. So Juneteenth became a federal holiday in 1921. So today, Juneteenth celebrates and commemorates freedom, emphasizes education and achievement. It is a day, it is a week, it is a month marked with celebrations and guest speakers and picnics and family gatherings. And I tell you what's so special about this year. If you've been following the news, the Obama Presidential Foundation will officially commemorate its opening. To celebrate this day, just to celebrate really so much. And we're going to have to put together a trip and travel that way to visit that presidential foundation there in Chicago. So it is a time for reflection and rejoicing, a time for assessment and even self improvement and planning the future, especially in a time such as this. Its growing popularity signifies a level of maturity and dignity in America that is long overdue. So, in cities across the country, people of all races and nationalities and religions will be celebrating, joining hands to truthfully acknowledge this period, a period in our history that shaped and continues to influence our society today. Sensitized to conditions and experiences of others, only then, it's only then that we can make significant and lasting improvements in our society. So, what did we do? And what are we doing? How do we have an impact on society? Well, when 1921, and when we brought in 1922, when we brought in the new year of 1922 here at Divine Baptist Church, um, we decided to uh, put it in our brand. That is the reason when you see the Divine Baptist churches, when you see that brand, and you see at the bottom of that brand, it says, impact the world. And that is what we set out to do, impact the world in a positive way. and bring glory to the name of our Lord. Thank you for tuning in today. This is just a preview for our Juneteenth celebration as we prepare for a great celebration. So, tomorrow being Juneteenth, I'll come back at you and give you just a little bit more, and then we will celebrate together. In the meantime, may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace until we connect again in the AM on Juneteenth. Blessings.